So I chose to do my debate paper on health at every size. It's a new movement that's become pretty popular. Um, a lot of registered dietitians are implementing this into their practices, and I didn't know a whole lot about it, so I thought, why not learn a little more and um, see if there's something new that I didn't know that might change my mind on the topic. So here are the points that I'm going to go over in my presentation. What are your ideas of health? What is the HAES movement? The good of the movement and the bad. So what are your ideas of health? If you would have asked me this when I was younger, I would have said, like, what culture tells you is healthy, like having the six-pack abs and working out 2 hours a day and being vegetarian or eating tons of vegetables and being really restricted with your diet and exercising a ton. And the physical parameters of being healthy, I thought, were like being a size 2 and what culture deemed as beautiful. I thought that all was part of health, and that's what I needed to aspire to be. Um, and it was really hard because there have been times that I wasn't that. Um, most of my life, I didn't struggle with weight, and then after having my first child, I did, and it was really hard for me to come to the idea that that's not healthy, that I am putting myself at risk trying to quickly get back to my original size, because I thought that's what I needed to do to be healthy. Health at every size movement is more than just being healthy it's healthy at any size, but it's more than just saying, oh, I'm healthy at this size. Like, there's actually things that are criteria in it. So we'll talk about those. So one of those is weight inclusivity. Basically, it means that we're not seeing obese and skinny as healthy or not healthy, that all sizes and shapes can be healthy, and we want to be inclusive about that. Intuitive eating. What we mean by intuitive eating basically is that there are no limitations on eating. You just eat until you feel full, until you feel satisfied with the amount you've eaten and what you've eaten. Light exercise or light to moderate exercise, it's whatever you feel comfortable with without trying to overdo it and kill yourself, basically. Anti-dieting culture, they don't believe in limitations of food or cutting out this food group or this food group. They see that all food groups are an important part of health, which I definitely agree with. I don't think getting rid of any food group is ever good. There's always a lot of supplementation when you do that. So I definitely agree with this criteria, and exercise and intuitive eating and weight inclusivity. I think they're all really great criteria in the movement. The good. Fight skin, skinny culture. This is often what they tell us is what we need to aspire to be beautiful. I find in the social media, oftentimes you see the good of everything. You see these skinny, beautiful girls and their makeup, and they just look amazing. And I think that often can cause a lot of issues for people because they feel like that's the norm and that's what they should be every day. And honestly, I don't think every day anybody looks like this. I don't think this model in this picture probably looks like this every day, every minute of every day of her life. It decreases eating disorders. That is one major plus to this. It says health at every size and eat what you want. But when your body says it's hungry or it's not hungry anymore, don't eat. When it says it's hungry, eat. It's not saying there's hopefully people in this movement aren't thinking about anorexia or anything like that. It's helping to treat that mentality and promote self-love and care for yourself, which is what our next slide is about, promote self-love. It helps you to see yourself and every body type as beautiful in its own way. Our bodies are beautiful, and that we shouldn't just try to deem what's healthy and what's not by what our body looks like, because a lot of people were born with our bodies and there's not a lot we can do to change them, and we shouldn't try to change them. The bad. So a lot of doctors and stuff have a lot of issues with this because of a lot of it's a known scientific fact that obesity can lead to a lot of chronic illnesses. In this slide, it lists a few. People that are obese are prone to higher blood pressure, cholesterol issues, cardiovascular issues, stroke, diabetes, insulin resistance, and the list goes on. And it's a true issue, and it's a very big pull apart for this movement, because it's hard to tell people that are severely obese that they're healthy, because there are these chronic illnesses that come with being obese. And it's not to say that they aren't beautiful in their own skin. They are. It's a true fact. A lot of people who are obese are going to have these higher blood pressure and have diabetes and things like that, and things that could easily be avoided by weight loss, and not even significant weight loss. Even just a couple pounds of weight loss can significantly help these issues. Treatment diets. The Health at Every Size movement is against dieting. It's anti-diet culture. But I feel like the movement doesn't take into the parameters that some diets are actually very beneficial to certain treatments. And I'm not just talking about weight loss. I'm talking about treating epilepsy, like the ketogenic diet. I personally am not a fan of the ketogenic diet because it's very restrictive. It can lead to a lot of eating disorders. You can be very nutrient deficient in it without supplementation. I never think supplementation should be your first line of defense when it comes to being healthy. I think eating a vast array of foods is the best way to get your nutrients, but keto is very, very helpful in the treatment of epilepsy. I've had friends personally who tried the keto diet, and it has really helped their epilepsy. Another thing is the AIP diet, the autoimmune protocol diet. That is for people who have autoimmune disorders, and it's basically an elimination diet, and you slowly add things back in to figure out what is causing the inflammation. FODMAPs diets do the same thing. They're very helpful in finding out what foods are causing intestinal issues for you. What's another one? Like the DASH diet, Mediterranean diets, they help decrease cardiovascular disorders, and they're really helpful, and they make people feel a lot better, and it helps with the treatment where they don't have to jump to medication so quickly, which I think is very important. I feel like a lot of times people think, oh, I just want this medication to fix my problem, but I feel like diet and exercise have a lot to do with being healthy, and what you're eating, and how you're eating, and how you're exercising, and how much you're exercising has a lot to do with health. Weight loss indicators, or weight loss and indicators of health. I talked a little bit about this earlier. This is just a study that shows how 25 to 35 pounds of weight loss can decrease these parameters. The tealish color is patients at the beginning of their weight loss, and it shows like fasting glucose levels and A1C and total cholesterol and triglycerides. And it just shows a huge decrease in each one of these things after these patients have lost 25 to 35 pounds of weight. So there's tons of evidence supporting that some weight loss is an indicator of health. Now, I'm not saying that being 5'8" and 125 pounds is healthy. I am saying that it could be healthy, but I'm saying that in obese patients that some weight loss has some significant benefits. Even just feeling better and having more energy is something that a lot of people report having after they've lost that weight, and a lot of it is related to these factors in this graph.